The Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Portland Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published on January 15, 2021, and posted on the district website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media newspaper, The Record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised that this meeting is being taped and may be broadcasted on local TV and the district's website at a future date. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines the word meeting as any gathering, whether corporate or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all of the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. Could we please have roll call?
Ms. Joe.
Here.
Ms. Hanso. Thank you. Ms. Hansover.
Here.
Ms. Morrell.
Here.
Ms. Richter. Here. Ms. Ramba. Mr. Lee.
Ms. Dasu?
Here.
Ms. Colback.
You have quorum.
So, the board will be convening to executive session to discuss legal, personnel, and other confidential matters. But before we do that, the executive superintendent today notified the district of his selection to fill our the vacancy for the unexpired term of Tanya Byers-Kang, and that notice identified Kimberly Curry. So we're going to ask the board secretary to administer the oath to Ms. Curry.
So the walk-in resolution before us reads this way. Whereas the resignation of board member Tanya Byers-Kang
June 24th,
2021 created a vacancy on the board of
education, and whereas
Whereas on August the 2nd, 2021, the board conducted a public interview of 3 candidates to fill the board member vacancy, with the final vote resulting in a 4-4 tie. And whereas NJSA 18A 12-15 requires the executive county superintendent of schools to appoint a candidate to fill a vacancy when a board of education is unable to
consensus within
65-day statutory time frame. And whereas Lou DeLisio, Bergen County Interim Executive County Superintendent of Schools, conducted interviews
candidates on August
4th, and therefore be it resolved that Lou DeLisio,
Bergen County Interim Executive
County Superintendent of Schools, after careful consideration, appoints Kimberly Curry to fill the board member vacancy from today, August the 30th, 2021, through January the 4th, 2022, the Fort Lee Board of Education's 2022 reorganization meeting. Congratulations, Kim. Please come to the podium.
Can we make a motion and second and approve the resolution just as a formality before?
You can. You can.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion Morel, second Rubino. Do we need roll call or just all in favor? Roll
Roll
call.
call. Ms. Richter. Yes. Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Ms. Ramba. Ms. Hansilver.
Yes.
Ms. Morrell.
Yes.
Ms. Dasu.
Yes.
Ms. Joe.
Yes.
Ms. Colback.
Yes.
The motion carries. Congratulations. I will now administer the oath. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kimberly Curry,
I, Kimberly Curry,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I, Kimberly Curry,
I, Kimberly Curry,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law,
that I
possess
possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member
for the office of member
of a Board of Education,
of Board of Education,
and that I am not
and
disqualified
I am not disqualified
as a voter
as a voter
pursuant
pursuant
to RS
to RS
19-4-1,
19-4-1,
nor disqualified
nor disqualified
due to conviction of a crime
due to conviction of a crime
or offense
or offense
listed in NJSA
listed in NJSA
18A
18A
12-1,
12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Kim Curry. Welcome to the board. Please take your seat. You can sit to the right.
Just in time, you see, Kim.
I just want to say something to you. Kim,
You can let her get her things and right next to Mike.
Here or there.
Have the computer, then
Yeah.
you can see it. They're fine. For purposes of public.
so I just, a little funny note that maybe Esther will remember, maybe a long time ago, so who knows if you remember. But when
Speak
you,
louder. Speak louder.
yeah, but everybody gets nervous when they take that oath. Everybody, and usually there's 3 people doing it at one time. And I remember the very first time that I did it, there was a part where you had to say your name. And everybody's supposed to say their name. Well, David was so loud that I wound up saying, I, David Sargent. It was the second time around that I wound up remembering what my name was. But he was standing right next to me when he said David Sargent, and I, David Sargent. So just to let you know, everybody, little tiny funny story kind of thing. After that, I remembered my name.
And if you have any questions at any point in time, I can tell you, all members here and those that aren't physically present are available to you, and you should always feel free to pick up the phone and ask anyone.
So you know the pay is horrible.
I know, Mike told me today he's still waiting for his check for the last 5 years. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And don't feel compelled later when we vote, if you haven't thoroughly understand everything, or you can ask questions on the agenda, but it's totally appropriate for someone's first night to abstain unless, they feel strongly about something. Okay. So we're gonna get back to, convening into executive session to discuss legal, personnel, and other confidential matters. The board will reconvene into public session at approximately 7:30 p.m. tonight. So we will take public comment at this point, given that we announced the executive county superintendent's appointment, and we have a new board member. Any topic anyone would like to comment on, we are going to open it up for public comment now. There's no one here in the cafetorium. I don't know if we have anyone who we do. So we will take some public comment.
King, I'm going to promote you to panelists. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. You have 3 minutes. King?
And we need to have everyone identify their full name and their address for the record. I know we tried to, but we want to make sure that we do that.
King, you've been promoted to panelist. There you are. Please feel free to share your video and your comments, state your name and address for the record.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi. Can you hear me?
We can.
Oh, hi. Good evening. My name is Ping An Ho. I'm the president of the FLBOE Chinese Association. Recently, some parents.
And before you start your comments, what is your address?
Oh, my address is 288 Tom Hunter Road.
In Fort Lee, Tom Hunter Road in Fort Lee, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I just have one question. Some parents want me to ask why there is bus service for students who attend BCA, but not for those who attend Academy of Inglewood.
Yes, Ping, we used to transport students, actually Inglewood used to transport students with one of their buses to the Academy of the, at Inglewood, and then they stopped. I'm not sure why they stopped. And as it relates to contracting, we have not contracted a bus for that route. No one picked up that route when we went out to bid with Southburg and Georgia. But you can contact me after today's meeting and I can give you more information as it relates to transportation to the Academy.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. We have one more, Kyle Sanford. I'm promoting you to panelists. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. Kyle?
Hi, Kyle Sanford, 809 Harvard Place, Fort Lee, New Jersey. I just have one question. A lot of us parents are wondering how school's going to look now. I mean, I remember back when Rhoda was here, he said we're going to go back to traditional learning. Are we still going to have the computers at the desk with the plastic? And how's this going to look for my child when school starts? That's my only question.
Mr. Sanford, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, excellent. We're in the process of doing building walkthroughs now. I kind of talked about this, not kind of, I did talk about this when I did the reopening plan as far as what our classrooms would look like. So your children are walking into a traditional classroom environment. In some cases, and in most cases, desks are spread apart 3 feet to the extent possible, which is what the guidance is telling us that we need to do. Every student, by request of our principals, and we concur, has an individual desk shield. So in between their masks, and then they have the desk shields on their desk. There may be opportunity certainly for children to walk around the room and sit in a small group instruction. We will do our best at that point as well to separate to the 3 feet extent possible. But they're walking into classrooms other than the shields and the masks that all are wearing as they have in the past.
Okay, but are we going back to, are they going to still do the work on a computer, or is it going to be paper form, or how is the teaching going to be done?
They're going to go back to their traditional way of teaching. So at times computers will be used if it supplements the instruction. Otherwise it could be textbooks, workbooks.
Okay.
So it's not all going to be all the kids in class and everybody on computers. Right?
Okay, that's the question. That's the answer I need. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
There are no other raised hands.
Okay. May I have a motion to go into private?
Motion.
Motion Morel, second Rubino, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So we are now in private session.
Not quite yet. Elisa?
Mike, will you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published on January 15, 2021, and posted on the district website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media newspaper, The Record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised that this meeting is being taped and may be broadcasted on local TV and the district's website at a future date. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines the word meeting as any gathering, whether corporal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all of the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. We have roll call, please.
Ms. Cho.
Here.
Ms. Han Silver.
Here.
Ms. Morel.
Yeah.
Ms. Richter. Here. Ms. Ramba. Mr. Rubino.
Here.
Ms. Sassen.
Here.
Ms. Colback.
Here.
You have
Okay. The board convened executive session today at 6:30 PM to discuss legal, personnel, and other confidential matters. Dr. Schoen, will you begin by sharing with us your superintendent's report?
I certainly will. As always, just a reminder, as far as HIB reports are concerned, there are no HIBs to report at this point for the board. Secondly, one of the things that I had sent out on Thursday or Friday last week was to Ms. Rosemary Giacomelli. It was a rice letter indicating that the board was going to receive some updates in executive session and gave Ms. Giacomelli the opportunity to talk about it, for us to talk about it publicly. I did receive communication from her attorney asking that my update to the board that I was going to do in private session is given publicly, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It's actually very simple and to the point. There is an outside affirmative action investigation occurring right now that the board and the public are aware of. Approximately 50 individuals have been interviewed with an anticipation completion date of the investigation by the end of September. That is my report for this evening.
Thank you very much. Do we have any committee reports? Okay. Do board members have any questions or comments on tonight's agenda or any other topic? And I believe we have 2 walk-in resolutions for tonight. Well, one we dealt with earlier, and that was the appointment of our 9th board member, Kimberly Curry, which I want to welcome and happy to have you join us. The second walk-in resolution, which will be referred to as 21P, reads as follows. Therefore, be it resolved that the Fort Lee Board of Education, upon recommendation of the interim superintendent, approves the following appointment for the 2021-2022 school year pending verification of employment. And the appointment is for Mr. John Giordano as an assistant principal at the Lewis F. Cole Intermediate School. So do board members have any questions? Okay, may I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Morel, second Richter, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Or any abstentions? Okay, we're going to hear first from any members of the public that are physically located here in the cafeteria. Then we'll take questions and comments from those participating remotely. For the remote public participants, I'm going to ask you to select the raised hand button in the upper left corner of your screen. Our board secretary, Harkeisha Taylor, will recognize each community member in the order of the raised hands by lowering the hand and unmuting the microphone if you are muted. Please then state your name and full home address for the record. And that also applies to anyone who speaks, who is physically present here. We'd like you to state your name and home address for the record. And then begin your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any members here present that would like to make a public comment? If so, please approach the podium. Seeing none, Harkeisha, are there members with raised hands who wish to comment?
Yes, there are. Madam President, Mike Asso, I'm promoting you to panelists. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Mr. Asso.
I don't see anything up there.
There it is. Second one. Second down.
Am I good?
Okay, good to go.
I was gonna come down tonight. And first of all, I want to congratulate Mrs. Curry for becoming the 9th board member. Congratulations and welcome to the jungle. That's all I can tell you. I was gonna come down there tonight. And I know a lot of people know about my views, what's going on with the remote learning. So instead of dragging my kids down, I decided to do it home and let them listen to me. And the reason why I'm so outspoken about remote learning, it's about a matter of principle. It's a matter about, not just about my children, but hundreds of children in this school district and thousands and tens of thousands of children throughout the state. We have a governor who is playing chess with every board of education in this state. And he's playing it not by the rules. You see, with a board of education, to properly function, they need a complete toolbox. And we're all talking about this is a pandemic and this is dangerous and we have a dangerous variant and the whole state is on high alert. But the one thing he specifically left out for every board of education toolbox is the ability to shift to remote learning, which is a very, very valuable tool to have in a toolbox for a board of education. There's, without doubt, now people may not like it, teachers may not like it, board members may not like it, but it does exist and it has worked. And what happens is he specifically omitted this for the simple reason that his game is to make sure that every child is vaccinated. That's the game of chess. You may not believe me right now, but you'll see it over time. You are seeing it in Hoboken. The Hoboken School District is mandating every child from 4 years old to 11 years old to have a swab put up their nose twice a week, or a saliva test. Or any student that's 12 years old and older, either get a vaccination or the same thing, have a swab go up their nose or take a saliva test twice a week. It is proven fact, it is public record. I am not talking out of conspiracy. Now, there are parents in this school district that don't wish to send their children without a mask for the simple reason is they prefer to wait for a vaccine. There's parents in this town that state, I won't wear a mask. And there's parents like myself that say, my children, I know will break mentally wearing a mask 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. It may not happen in the first week, it may not happen in the second week, but it's just a matter of when. Right? And we all talk about this multi-layer and everything for the safety and everything for the children. But you leave no plan B. Your only plan B, not just this Board of Education, but every Board of Education throughout this state is saying you either have to have mental therapy or leave the school district.
Shut up, my friend.
With all due respect, Mrs. Colbath, I spent 3 years on that Board of Education, and I've spent 35 years working with children in this district. I think I deserve and earned an extra minute or so.
Because Nikki, that is a slippery slope. If I do it for you, I have to do it, and the 1 minute becomes 2, and then.
Okay. Okay, got you. In closing,
Minutes.
your parents, you are sending your children to a mental school jail.
Got it.
Peace.
Got it. Thank you.
Paula, happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Welcome, Padres.
Oh, yes, in due course.
I see no other raised hands. Ms. Cola, I do see a raised hand. For the public out in Zoom land, if you have a comment, please raise your hand now. Please raise your hand now if you have a comment. Linda, I'm promoting you to panelist. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. Linda?
Hello?
Hi, Zena, and this doesn't cut into your 3 minutes. I got your email today. It was just an extremely busy day. I didn't ignore it, but go ahead. I intend to respond to it, but just didn't have the time. It was very hectic.
So that was my question. So how about adopting a low or no enforcement policy on masks?
So what I would have said to you is that I think it was August 6th. I could have the date wrong, but our governor issued an executive order that mandates masks for students, staff, and visitors in our schools. So right now, we don't have the, and there are a couple of exemptions. If a child will be inhibited medically, and I can send it to you, and I intended to forward it to you, it's quite short. You can go and get a medical exemption if your child will be affected. You get, documentation from a medical provider. And then there's also, I believe, a religious exemption that you could also get. But I will forward the executive order to you, which has the force of law, which we're bound by. And then if you have follow-up, it's quite clear that the executive order, I have some follow-up conversation with you, but that's what I was intended to say.
Okay, but if my children don't have a medical condition that would allow them to get a medical exemption, there is no religious exemption for masks. So, for masks, no, for vaccines, but not for masks.
No, the medical exemption is for the masks.
Right, the medical for masks. But I was going to say, just to echo the words before, I don't think this is about masks or vaccines. This is about compliance, and everybody is made to comply. And if we don't fight this, it's going to go much further. So if you adopt a low and no enforcement policy, yes, there's a mask mandate and you're abiding by it, but you're just saying, okay, so a child came to school without a mask. We're going to follow up with a letter to the parents, and that's it. Why would that not be a good solution?
So you're saying if a child just disobeys and won't wear the mask, there's progressive steps that would be taken. The administration, the teacher, the principal would, remind the student, and I could defer to you.
Your answer is excellent.
I've seen you write it.
It's a law.
Warnings, we understand children may need mask breaks to the extent that they're necessary. Our administration and teachers will be reasonable. A child will be reminded, they'll get a second reminder, and if it's intentional and they're just being disobedient and trying to make a stand, then it will be dealt with under the code of conduct or in some other of the school rules.
Okay, I see. Well, I think the end result is just I'm going to unenroll my daughter from Fort Lee Public Schools because it's not acceptable for a student to spend 6 hours in a mask. This is not acceptable in desk shields and with all the other children in desk shields. So thank you.
Thanks, Anya.
These people realize it's like a law.
Howard, I think we have one more.
Irina?
Went through, then we'll let you go out.
Irina, I'm promoting you to panelist. Please feel free to share your video and your comment. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Irina?
Hi, Irina Karash, 233 month. I wanted to ask about this. So you get a travel, no Zoom if you travel rule, which I get and I'm aware of now, but this is Labor Day week. School starts on a Thursday after Labor Day week. Parents have made plans to travel prior to all of these rules being enforced. So now we're left with kids kind of missing out on the first 2 days of school. Even though I had requested the board to provide guidance ahead of time so that parents could make proper plans
The earliest we're able to do it.
So I don't know, can we do something for the upcoming two days? I mean, not only missing on the first 2 days of school, but also like, how do we contact the teachers and all this other stuff? Like it's hard.
No, it is extremely hard, and I totally, completely agree with you. And different districts are doing different things as far as travel quarantine is concerned. We're working very closely with Jill Scarpa, our local health department, to determine what those quarantine periods look like. We can certainly reach out to her and give her a call and see if any of those have been relaxed. If they have not, and we don't get in touch with you, the only other thing that I can say at this point is that there is an email and there is contact made for the teacher. I truly don't want your children to have to miss the first few days of school or any days of school at all, but it's difficult for us to deviate.
But based on the guidelines you guys published, that's basically what's happening, right? If you have elementary school age children, you have, and you go outside the 5 states outlined, you're basically left with 2 choices. Everybody's gonna either lie or, and then are you monitoring that the teachers who aren't vaccinated aren't leaving the 5 states, or is this an honor system?
It would be the same honor system that we would have for parents as well. There's no way for us to determine whether or not a teacher does or a parent does, and we're not going to take time to ask for proof of travel.
Okay.
We're not going to have a teacher, or we're not going to have a staff member or a parent show us the plane tickets. So
Well,
I
understand.
It's 100% hard to monitor. There's no doubt. And that's why there are districts out there that are choosing not to have travel quarantine. And while I would have no issue with that, we've always decided what we were going to do based on the CDC and the local health department and the Department of Ed. And to deviate at this point from that, I don't know how comfortable I feel with that. This is the way that Fort Lee has always operated under COVID conditions. So
Understood. I'm fully aware. It just makes anyone who's made any kind of labor, leaves parents with a choice of how do you cancel, and then how do you tell your kids you're missing the first 2 days of school?
And you're right. And the only other choice that you have is to lie.
Yeah, and that's the third choice.
Right, and you don't want people to do that, partly because you don't want children who do in fact have something to return, not say anything, and in fact get someone else sick. So we're caught in a very difficult position, and all the things that you are concerned about are things that we are as well, that if I could fix in a heartbeat, I would.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Irina.
There are no other raised hands.
Okay, Howard.
Thank you very much. My name is Howard Lippoff. I'm a teacher here at the intermediate school. I'm also the treasurer of the Fort Lee Education Association. I'm on NJEA's Government Relations Committee. And there's been talk, Ms. Colbert has mentioned the executive order that the governor has put out dealing with masks. And there was a clip of that meeting, his announcement at the last meeting, which was good. However, it wasn't everything that happened at that meeting. I want to point out to everyone that at that meeting with Governor Murphy were health experts, statewide health experts from many leading organizations dealing with health in the state of New Jersey. They are all backing this decision. The president of NJEA was at that press conference. She, in my organization, totally backed the mask mandate. We think this is the best way to maintain the children and the staff being healthy. And I think it's a good thing that the board is not trying to challenge this and going along with what is the healthiest way of dealing with the problem under all the expert advice. However, I have a big issue looking around here, because here at Lewis F. Cole Intermediate School, where we're having this board meeting, we have about half or maybe more than half of the public not wearing masks. I don't understand this. And we're saying to the kids, wear their masks. And we have, a lot of these people are adults. Most of them are adults. And they can't go along with this. And let me say, it's just not fair. These members of the Board of Ed are volunteers. They shouldn't be put at risk. They're all wearing their masks. I'm looking at them. I turn here, many people, I think the majority of the audience, is not wearing masks. We have here staff of the high school, staff of the schools, some of the administrators, they're wearing their masks. I'm wearing my mask. We've got the superintendent here wearing her mask. It's not fair for people to think they could come here and not go along with the governor's order, which is based on the advice of medical experts. And I think the board seriously needs to consider asking people to leave. It's not fair to the health of the board. It's not fair to me or any member of the public who wants to take part in an open public meeting. Thank you very much.
So, I mean, Howard makes, we don't always agree, but the law right now is that in a public school, visitors must wear a mask. And I would ask those of you who don't have them on, I hope you brought one with you, if you could all wear a mask while we're in the public school. What you do when you leave here and you go home is obviously your prerogative, but we teach our children, you know, to follow the rules, and I guess we do have a box of masks. If you're not willing to wear a mask, you're really putting this board in a vulnerable position because we're not.
You're not wearing a mask. Why not? Go up there.
Please, Mr. Lipoff, you're a special education.
Still a lady. Hey, calm down. I don't feel safe with her.
I don't feel safe. Crazy and aggressive. I don't feel safe with him. Yeah, he's very aggressive. Should he be around children? He's very aggressive.
So, can I have a motion to close the floor to the public?
No.
Motion.
You should get him out of here. He's very aggressive.
No.
Very aggressive.
Do I have a motion? Second?
Why are we closing?
Second, it was already open to them.
We already had public comment in the chat. No one went to the microphone.
We'll have our hands raised.
I'm not as well versed as.
Well, sir, unless you're willing to put on a mask, if you go to the microphone, multiple people have
to speak with a mask.
I don't care. I'm not anti-mask. I just didn't bring one.
We have a box of them here. Sir, we have a box of them here. Please approach the microphone.
I'm not gonna talk then. I guess I'm not gonna come now.
Yeah.
This is why we have trouble with the children. Are you a parent?
No.
Okay, Howard, if you have comments, direct them to the board. If anyone in the public has comments, you're going to address them to me or the superintendent. Is there anyone who went through this before? Is there anyone who would like to make a comment? Please line up, have the microphone, and have a mask on. And at first, sir, just identify your full name and your address, please.
Evan Young, 1275 15th Street, Fort Lee, New Jersey.
Thank you very much. Go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'm not here for any of that. I'm actually just here to speak on behalf of Ms. Giacomelli.
I can't hear you.
I'm just going to speak on behalf of Ms. Giacomelli. My son has had an IEP since he's been in the Fort Lee school system and has been blessed with the teachers and the support that he's received his whole academic career in Fort Lee. With that, Ms. Job was a huge part of that. She was an integral part of his success and his development. And I understand that we live in a world now where everything is heightened and everything is viewed from a different lens. I don't think that that means that we have to overlook certain variables. This woman has dedicated her life and career to these children. As far as I'm concerned, she's the last of the pillars of the reasons of why I love this town. This town is to be development and growth, like I get that. But there are certain aspects, like so to your point, that we've always done it that way. I wouldn't feel change. Well, why would we do that when it comes to holding children accountable for things, letting them know that they can't just get away with it because if they dare, if you have something, you're gonna lose your job? I mean, you're that again, there are instances these things happen. Everybody says it did. I mean, people can just play these cards and they have to be taken seriously. And it muddies the waters. And teachers like Giacomelli completely unwarranted. I mean, if it wasn't for her, I don't know that my son would have achieved the type of success that he has, and it scares me to think that children won't be able to experience that same thing with us. So I don't know that that's going to change anything, but I feel like as a parent, that perspective should be heard. So.
Good evening, board. Good evening, members and parents and teachers. My name is Suzanne Funes. I live at 6 Horizon Road, Fort Lee, New Jersey. I'm here to express my support for Principal Giacomelli. She has been outstanding, responsive, extremely supportive with my biracial family. I personally have never witnessed Principal Giacomelli being a bully or intimidating anyone or being racist. To the contrary, on June 21st, I felt intimidated and bullied by Christina Suck outside of the Fort Lee school. She had tried to intimidate me into lodging false accusations against Principal Giacomelli for bullying and racism for a board meeting later that evening. You have our attention. Okay. And I don't think it's true. I just want to put on the record that Principal Giacomelli is not racist. She's not a bully. I have not seen any scintilla of evidence that would show that she is. And I think it's unfair what's happening to her. And I let her in. So thank you for your time, and I hope my opinion matters. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nato Okate. I came here with the one concern that kids were gonna wear masks for 9 hours, but I'm living with another right now because they are children, they're little, they won't keep the masks on all the time. They run, they get sweaty, breathe, and I don't want anybody reacting on my child the way that anyone reacts. I don't anybody they don't understand, and there is no way they can wear masks for 9 hours in a school. Some children are getting dropped off at 7 and picked up at 6 o'clock. This, in my opinion, putting the mask on, taking it off, putting on dirty table, and putting it back on is even worse than having them. Did anybody consider wearing the face shields? It covers the face. If everything stays on the shield, it's not going to fly around, right? That's the way they wear the mask and breathe. Will somebody be checking if the masks are changed in a couple of hours? Nobody will change. And clean for them, right? So I'm hoping that, I don't know, maybe you can let children wear face shields at least, not masks all the time. and I'm other children aggressively because they're 6, 7, 8. I feel really bad for children, and I think everybody should understand that. That's not the way to correct children by yelling and being aggressive, because children are going through a lot like we do, and they are future, right? So I think we can better than whatever happened. Thank you.
Good evening. For years,
Can I ask you to say your name again?
Cedric Berg, B-U-R-G.
Thank you.
I've been a resident of Fort Lee for 4 years with 5 children, have gone to the school system. 3 of them have gone to school number 1 with Ms. Giacomelli as the principal. And you know, I tell my children, I do nothing. And although I was quite hesitant to come here and testify, I really want to give my support to Ms. Giacomelli. We came here from North Carolina, very different circumstances that we found here, and we really found a home in that school. She treated our children, even though their command of English was not very good, as family, as welcome members. And frankly, I have great gratitude for the whole team at school number 1, all the teachers, all the helpers, and especially under the leadership of Ms. Giacomelli. And I do hope that everything will be cleared up and that she will be reinstated with the honors and we put all this behind us. As was said before, my children are no longer in school. It's not going to affect them. They've grown through it, but I do think it's really a big part of the success of that school is her leadership, and I hope she can continue to do that to the next generation of children like this. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sonia Byers-King, and I live at 275 Tom Hunter Road. I'm going to give some handouts to, you could just pass them around to each other. I'm just going to put them here for you and pass them. Thank you all for being here. Is it okay that I have this down? I'm far away from someone. I don't think you can hear me that well that way anyway. I feel that it's my civic duty as someone in the community, someone who has held a spot very close to parents and teachers for many years, to report something that I have that has been reported to me. It is going to each of you as well. What I have given you has copies of it's a little bit broken English, but I appreciate it nonetheless. This was written on the 21st of June. I hope things are going well with you. I have been seeing your dedication in the school for a long time, and I really appreciate this. This is the reason why I'm writing this mail to you, in order to move forward on the right path for our school and kids. Okay? From 1 or 2 weeks ago, before any issue pertaining to an election, in fact, there has been investigation of Christina Sa against our current principal in KPAC chat rooms. Okay, I will spare a lot of it. The key point is, my view, is that she's trying to extend her private issue related to the principal into any conflict more relative to Korean victim or something like that. I do see this must be very harmful, not only to our school, but also the Fort Lee society. The biggest problem is that she is approaching her private issue in a way of dichotomy between Korean parents and any other parents in the school, and between Korean parents and the principal, aggravating our harmony in the school and making any conflict and prejudice to the community. In a very emotional way, she is claiming that Korean right has been infringed upon by the principal and further losing election in this chat room. From her instigation in the chat room, some parents used to say the election looks very related to Asian discrimination with her instigation. It seems that the current PTA election has only mutually connected to her private issue with the principal and making her more powerful. It goes on and on. Anyway, it concludes with this. May I finish?
As long as it's quick, go ahead.
She continually is pushing Korean parents to do as follows, which will show in the chat rooms. Number 1, recording video of Mrs. Giacomelli. Christina asked parents to record video on Mrs. Giacomelli. At the same time, she will try to make any provocation in the meeting.
Can I ask you just, we have it, and we see the 1 to 4.
Yes.
Can you,
Yes, so now I'm on
I want to be fair to everyone.
Yes.
Can you sum up, we can read it.
I would like the public to know where she was coming from, so that is what I'm saying.
We can pick up copies.
Yes.
I can't allow you to continue.
No, it's fine. I appreciate your help. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello.
My name's Peter Kang, 275 Palmonte Road. Been in Fort Lee for 12 years. I've had 2 kids go to school. Number 1, here for 2 reasons. First of all, I'm here in support of Mrs. Giacomelli. Being a Korean American parent, I've never felt anything but no racism from her. And honestly, I'm very disappointed at how this whole thing was handled. Literally, she's guilty before even investigating. You guys actually do an investigation? Like, we all know racism has been weaponized. I mean, we're adults here, right? So, I think this is kind of a joke. But in the mask, the whole concept of the mask, it's like, are you scared of little kids like looking at you? Like, this is insane. Like, yes, they may have put a mandate, but literally science does not justify it. Like, it really doesn't. So I don't know what data you guys are looking at, but I'll keep this mask on to make you feel better, but this is like, I'm really shocked at what's going on, and it's very disappointing. You know, like I said, 2 reasons I'm here. You know, number 1, supporting Ms. Giacomelli. Number 2, I wasn't planning on speaking about the mask, but how passionate you're about the mask. I'm blown away where you're getting that data. Like, for real. It's
Peter,
absolutely insane.
address us, I understand. Thank you so much, Peter.
Hello, my name is Otilia Segura.
Hello,
my name is Otilia Segura. My name is 243 Silocomo. As I'm sure
Could you
you
try
can.
speaking a little, I'm having a hard time hearing you, and I want
But
to
in there,
hear what
this
you say.
first
I
time.
understand.
Okay. Is I'm sure you can tell by my accent, from what we know today as a minority. I have felt discrimination by race before in my life, so I know what it feels like. And I can assure 100% that I have not felt 1 second any of it under the school number 1, either Principal Giacomelli or anybody under working for her in school number 1. Neither me, neither any of my children. We are family, we talk a lot with the kids, we share dinners, and my children have never ever made a comment of this sort at home. I looked for me in school number 1 because my kids are they're coming up and growing up feeling we're all the same. And I think your family and her team have a lot to do with that. I think, bad would only survive if good doesn't do something about it. So I invite all those, I'm pretty sure that for one parent that talks bad about your committee, there are 10 that will tell you only good things. And I invite the people that are listening today to come forward and do that, because this is, and again, a lot of parents have said it, I don't know how we have got to this, but we are. And this is the time to do something about it, because this is at stake the life of a person who has given everything, and she doesn't deserve it. And many parents, don't think that it's not with you. It is with you. Come forward and do something, because tomorrow is going to be too late. Okay? And to finish, and just to make things clear how my feelings go, and I think are shared by many people. If the end of the world was to come, and there were by flooding, and there were different ships, and Giacomelli was the captain of one of them, my family would do anything to be in that ship. Because I'm sure we will just not only survive, but we will thrive. And I also know as well that some of the mothers that have said the things they have said, there will be a dashing version.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Maharis, a Fort Lee parent. I'm here to speak regarding the mask issue. There was a Dan Mask 19 study published in the journal, the BMJ, which is one of the most reputable medical journals. Masks, nada, not significant, not even 15%. Okay, that's why Denmark is going to school without masks now. Another study that I want to lead you to is a cluster of randomized controlled trials. Why are randomized controlled trials the creme de la creme of the study, right? Because it's really comparing masked, unmasked. Now this study's from 2015, prior to SARS-CoV-2. If you look on the box of masks you're passing out, they are not for SARS-CoV-2. So that's called aerosol. This virus is spread through aerosol. And the scientists who seem to be out there somewhere in the magic land who were part of the discussion would need to speak to that also. Zero efficacy. 97% of influenza, which is the same size as SARS-CoV-2, 80 nanometers, 97% goes through. What these didn't look at is the burden upon children. Children such as my son who has an IEP. Children such as humans who cannot be masked. Children such as those with psychological issues who have post-traumatic stress disorder and cannot be masked. Shallow breathing that occurs while you're masked. All of you are shallow breathing currently, whether you think you are or not. Shallow breathing raises cortisol. It harms your body, it causes panic, it causes distress, and we have seen 15 girls over the course of last year attempt suicide in the middle school. Many of them unreported to Fort Lee. Now we are dealing with massive panic, massive distress, and we have a teacher who is a special ed teacher. How do I know? Because he taught my 2 children reading. Do you think my daughter with her visual impairment would know anything you're saying? No. No, she wouldn't. And she couldn't. And so that beautiful girl that had a 4.0 was GE. Listen, he wants to make it personal. This is personal. That beautiful girl had to be GED from your school that provided 0 services for her, because she could not track on a computer. 0. I begged, I talked to, you know what the administrator said? Maybe you should just pull your child out. 22,000 tax dollars later. And this is not going away. And I want to finish this. 6 to 13 times more likely to be infected if you took the Pfizer jab. That's the Israel data out 2 days ago. And the people who had natural infection, which were most of us, my entire family, and 90% of my block in Fort Lee, were 37 times protected, as opposed to those who took this Pfizer biotech, which is not licensed, Comirnaty is, which is not available in the United States. So still you have families pushing for all of these measures. And you have whole countries and states where children are not masked. Why are we bowing? The Board of Health does not make law. The Board of Health does not make law. The CDC doesn't make law. SCOTUS just told the CDC, you overstepped your bounds.
I gave you a little bit.
Okay, fine.
Thank you very much.
I'm letting you know, if you'd like to stand up and sue for your rights of your children, I am going to class action sue based on the Board of Education, the Board of Health, making medical decisions for everyone. Yes.
Now, because we had public comments for those of you here, so we're gonna finish with the, with the woman in the white t-shirt and white sandals. That will be it. So go ahead. Please identify yourself, name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, good evening. My name is Margo Solomano. I'm a teacher at School 1. What?
You can't even understand her. How are the kids gonna understand anything? This is crazy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Margo Solomano. I am a teacher at School 1. My address is 43 Long Avenue, Dumont, New Jersey, 07628. As my t-shirt says, United We Stand, and my colleagues and I are here to support our amazing leader, Rosemary Giacomelli. Yes, my legs might be a little wobbly, but more importantly, I feel sad that our leader will not be starting the school year with us. This amazing woman who has gone above and beyond for her staff members, her students, parents, way beyond the call of duty of a principal, more than you will ever know, helping parents in need. She has the biggest heart ever. And what has taken place here since we found out about this is so sad that someone is being treated this way. A faculty member, someone who is part of the Fort Lee School District. No one should be treated this way. But she was a strong woman, and she knows who she is, and we know who she is. It has been difficult for us watching the meetings and hearing some of the comments that have been made, false comments, people who have been on for 13 minutes, one person in particular. And I say that because what was said was not true, because I was in that courtroom. I had that student. And our principal did not have to get up and speak once, because this person could not back up one statement that she made about Rosemary Giacomelli. And our principal on that. This person is an amazing person and should not have been put through this. And my colleagues and I care very much about her. And besides our principal, she is a human being, and that's what we have to remember. We don't treat people this way.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Eleftherio, and I reside on Highland Avenue, Avenue 10. I'm here tonight as a retiree as of last year of the Fort Lee School District. Throughout my entire 31 years as an employee of this district, I am proud to have called School One my second home and my family. I probably speak for past and current staff when I share how saddened and disappointed I am to have heard about the suspension of Rosemary Giacomelli. I had worked with numerous administrators, each with their own personalities and methods to get the job done and continuing to make School One the #1 school, elementary school in the district. We also, throughout the years, have had parents get upset if they weren't happy with behavioral issues that were brought up or learning struggles that their child were having or the policies and procedures of the school or the district. And of course, they would say, we didn't like them, we didn't like their children, or we were racist. We've been accused of racism in the past. But none of that was true, because School One and Rosemary always had the best interests of the students in the schools and the parents at heart. We've always been Our goal was always to work with the parents, not against the parents. And Ro was right on board with that. Trust me, no staff member or administrator, including Rosemary Giacomelli that I've worked with or under, is a racist or a bully. We dedicated our lives to teach all children, regardless of race and or religious affiliations. When we look out, we see children, not colors, and again, different races and religions. It was an honor and a privilege to work under the leadership of Rosemary, and I can say with confidence that any of her words and actions, said and done, were always with the best interests of her staff and students. I just hope you have her back the way she always had ours, and her students. If you don't, then how can anyone else working for this district ever think that you'd have theirs? Please do what is right by her, because to work so hard for so many years, dedicating your life to ensure the success of children and the largest elementary school in this district, and then to have it tainted by one or several parents doesn't seem fair. Please do right thing. I saw firsthand, working with her, that she is for the underdog. Again, regardless of race or religion, I saw her try to secure jobs and homes and get clothing and whatnot for people in need, all races or religions.
Thank you.
So again, an amazing heart, as Margot said, do what's right. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Audrey Greenberg. I reside at 4 Horizon Road. I am here today. Thank you all for listening to everyone. I can't help but echo the recent teachers that have spoken and the eloquent way that they have put the travesty that is going on right now with Ms. Giacomelli. And it started by a meeting just like this. That time wasn't held on to, that our colleagues and our fellow board members weren't respected enough to say, stop, this is not to be talked about on a public forum. I believe that any issue that comes up is worth investigating. Ms. Giacomelli, if there was an issue put against her, absolutely, we should go forward and investigate. But this is how this even got there. Within 12 hours, this woman was removed from her school building with 24 hours left of school without even a word to hear her side of the story. We got to hear all of this from this woman about a playground. Do we get to tell everyone that the petty little fight this was between two little girls?
and what Ms. Giacomelli was doing to help them resolve that? Do we get to know that? There's been nothing said about any of this since it happened. I can't imagine that all of you don't sit there and wonder and look back and say, well, I think we might have screwed up a little bit here. I never wanted to treat that way. I came up here to continue from my dear friend Tanya, the note that she received, giving you evidence of what has gone on here. Evidence we shouldn't have to be pulling up for you. Evidence you're now paying $25,000
Crazy.
to investigate. And my son is in a classroom with a mask without air conditioning.
No.
$25,000. The things that were continued, number 2, submitting the superintendent community input survey. She sent us typed out things to write in the story, in the survey, and requested people to copy and paste them at the last paragraph. She provided that for them. They didn't even have to write it. Encouraging parents to come to the middle school to participate in the meeting. So if we can make it provocation that the BOE won't let us join the meeting, then we can start up a whole thing. And then finally, Christina was going to meet with members of the Fort Lee Borough City Council. Make sure they know this is a Korean issue, manipulating any conflict between Korean and non-Korean as a hero. We don't live in Fort Lee because we are racist. We live here to be in a diverse community. Has an issue with someone, it's usually for a great reason, and she's gonna yell at you if you're white, yellow, black, red, green, black, pink. She's the best thing that ever happened to this school district, and it was very clear she was good before then. Everyone was talking about her for new and bigger roles, and in 10 minutes or 13 minutes, you guys threw her under the bus. And you threw Tanya under the bus, and you let her sit at a board and have herself trash about an election. And again, nobody has come to the table and let us know that she was cleared of every single charge, that she did absolutely nothing wrong except give her life and heart to our school every day.
People would raise hands. Okay. This is it. We'll go back to the 2 and then we're done.
You didn't respond.
I'm promoting 99693, please use
The
state your
response to
name and
argument
address.
that we can't talk, Stephanie, we can't talk about personnel issues, how things are resolved, what's happening. Those are the employees have to come in and
bring her
reality.
out of her job in a few hours. You didn't respond.
We hear from the first.
Your duty is to respond to the parent. You have not. You have not.
Stephanie, it's called public comment. I did, but nonetheless, I did.
You cannot respond to the parent.
Stephanie, if we can have your time, please.
You can't maintain order, you're not responding.
You will be escorted out, you will not maintain order. This is a meeting of the Board of Education.
You
Public
answer
comment
the parent.
is currently
You answer to us.
Thank you.
I don't know who's speaking. I don't know who you are.
Stephanie, sit down.
I'm not. I'm gonna stand and I wanna respond to that.
Please leave the building. Please leave the building. Okay, can we go to the first remote?
You have the floor. Your number is showing as 996993. I'll give you.
I don't know. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can you please state your name and address for the record?
Hello, yes, my name is Jeanette Weiner and I'm at 800 Palisade Avenue. I just wanted to chime in, and I don't understand this thing very well, so I don't know why it even says that number. But anyway, my name is Jeanette Weiner. I wanted to chime in to give my support to the parents that object to having the masks in the school. The reason being is that I have, everyone talks about masks, but I'm yet to see any written scientific study that says that masks are effective, particularly in a school setting with children who have such little risk. I do see 32 studies confirming negative health effects. So I object to the mask. Obviously, I understand that it's an executive order, but if someone has the science that confirms that it works, that it's effective, and that it's necessary, I would love for someone to email me a copy. And the other thing I want to say is that I couldn't understand a single word that anybody up there with a mask said. Literally, it sounded like I was listening to that little bird on Snoopy. Okay, so once the kids are in school, listening to the teachers, and the teachers are up there, okay? And then, guess what? You're gonna get like 10 phone calls a week that your child can't hear, that your child is not listening, that your child is not paying attention. Meanwhile, in the class.
Thank you, Janelle.
Excellent.
Okay, it's absolutely ridiculous. And again, if someone has a scientist repeating over and over what they hear without any scientific evidence, kindly email it, post it on the website. I want to see the science behind the mask.
0.
Thank you.
Carmela, I'm promoting you to panelist. Please
Thank
feel
you.
free to share your video and you're welcome. And your comment, you have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address for the record. Carmela?
Carmela, can you hear us? I think we lost her. Carmela, are you there? Okay, Carmela, would you like to make a comment or not?
She's not promoted to panelist, President Colbert. It's not promoting her. Carmela. Carmela, can you unmute yourself? I'm going to see if I can have you speak from the attendee list. It's not promoting you to panelist for some reason. So you should see a message that says ask to unmute. The host is asking to unmute.
And for those of you at home who like to know how many people we have calling in tonight, it's 108 and probably 50 physically present in the cafeteria. Okay, Carmela, we can hear you now.
Okay, no further hands.
Okay, so can I now have a motion to close the floor to the public?
Motion.
Second. Motion Morel, second Hans Silver, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, let's move on to our resolutions. Could I have a motion to approve items 1B and 2B?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Richter, second Morel. Roll call, please.
Ms. Richter?
Yes.
Mr. Rubino?
Yes. Can you just give me a second to pull it up, Paula? I'm sorry.
Sure. Is Julie your next name, or could we go on to?
I'm good.
She is not my next one.
Okay. So we're gonna keep calling the names, and when we come to you, we'll
That's
call.
fine. I'm good.
Ms. Hot Silver.
Yes.
Ms. Morel.
Yes, I abstain on my name on 2B.
Vote noted. Ms. Bassett.
Yes, yes.
Ms. Joe.
Yes.
Ms. Colback.
I abstain on 1B, I confess I wasn't able to review, it's not anything significant on 1B, and I abstain as to my name on 2B, but otherwise, yes to 2B.
So noted. Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve items 1B and G?
Motion. Second.
Motion, Hans Silver, second, Richter, roll call, please.
Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Ms. Morel.
Yes.
Ms. Joe.
Yes.
Ms. Hans Silver.
Yes.
Ms. Richter. Yes. Ms. Stassen.
Yes.
Ms. Colback.
Yes?
Motion carries.
Now, you're not asking, I assume that Ms. Berry will probably abstain, but you probably should also include her, and let her make that decision.
That was just an
Going
oversight.
forward.
That's an oversight. What would you like to do?
I think they passed, and let's keep going. May I have a motion to approve items 1 CUR through 3 CUR?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Richter, second Morel, roll call, please.
Ms. Hans Silver.
Yes.
Ms. Curry. I'm sorry.
Abstain.
Ms. Joe.
Yes.
Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Ms. Morel.
Yes.
Ms. Stassen.
Yes.
Ms. Richter. Yes. Ms. Colback.
Yes.
Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve items 1F through 11F?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Richter, second Morel, roll call, please.
Ms. Stassen.
Yes.
Ms. Joe.
Yes.
Ms. Richter. Yes. Ms. Curry. Ms. Morel.
Yes.
I do ask that you please minimize the talking. Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Ms. Hans Silver.
Yes.
Ms. Colback.
Yes.
Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve items 1P through 21P, 21P being the walk-in resolution that I read earlier today.
Motion.
Second.
Motion Morel, second. On Silver, roll call, please.
Ms. Hans Silver.
Yes.
Ms. Romba. Sorry, Ms. Curry. Ms. Joe.
Yes.
Ms. Morel.
Yes.
Ms. Richter. Yes. Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Ms. Stassen.
Yes.
Colback.
Yes.
Motion carries.
May I have a motion to approve items 1 POL and 2 POL?
Motion.
Second.
Motion Morel, second Richter, roll call, please.
Ms. Joe.
Yes.
Ms. Richter. Yes. Ms. Hans Silver.
Yes.
Ms. Curry. Ms. Stassen.
Yes.
Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Ms. Morel.
Yes.
Ms. Colback.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Is there any old business? Is there any new business?
Do we have to go back into the executive by any reason?
I don't know. Do you have a reason to go back in?
No, we don't.
Okay. I see old business.
Oh, no.
What is it?
No, not old business.
New business.
New business.
I thought
New
new
business.
business.
I just kind of want to make a statement. I do want to thank everyone who made public comment. Oh, sorry. I want to thank everyone who made public comment and utilized the proper form of addressing the board, whether it's coming to a meeting, addressing us at a public meeting, sending us emails. All right, there was something that happened, I guess it was over the weekend, or a few days ago, where an individual board member was actually harassed and threatened. Her children were threatened because of board actions, the board stance, and whatever is going on. And I feel it's appropriate for us to, address it. So thank you for doing it appropriately, all right? This is the way to do it, all right? Not personally attacking an individual,
threatening or harassing an individual board member or their children is certainly not the appropriate way to handle it because you disagree what the school board, what the school district is doing. And I felt strongly enough that I felt like we should say something, that I felt like it should be said at a public meeting. So for those of you who came out, said something, thank you for doing it the right way. It's not about agreeing or disagreeing, it's about doing it the right way. Because you guys all you have to do is go back to August 2020 videos. I can sit here for hours and listen to you talk. All right? All right? So that's it.
Thank you. And our email address is not that I want to get a barrage of emails, but we're all readily available on the website. You can send us emails. We do our best to get back to you. Whatever the issues are, you might not like the answers, but we give you whatever information we have. So I appreciate Esther bringing up what was a sensitive subject, and the threats actually, were against all board members. And, I think we were all a little rattled by the circumstances. And again, to echo what Esther says, we're here every other Monday night, and you have our email addresses, and let's just keep it all civilized, and we absolutely listen to you. While we might not act quickly, we do dig in, we listen, we go, we do our research, and we're trying to make thoughtful decisions here. And we're not always all going to agree, but we all try to do our best, and we for the children of our district and our staff. And so when that's your priority, it's kind of hard to have bad decisions, but I'm being told, wrap it up. We have a motion to adjourn? Motion Rubino, second Morel, all in favor? Aye. Thank you all for coming out.